Oh my god. How are we all doing today? I don't know why, but the moment I clicked start stream today, I just got so much more dizzier than I felt this entire day. Hello, hello. Welcome Melissa, welcome MacTig. Welcome whoever else is in the stream today. Why? What do you mean why? Yes, I am still sick, bro. Like, do you not read any of the fucking things I send? I'm still sick, but today I can actually talk. I'm not gonna talk that much still this stream, but I'm gonna be working on Project Vita anyways, so I might as well stream while doing it, right? So, yeah, this stream isn't really gonna be like the normal streams where I just yap a bunch, but I'm just gonna work on the side and chat with you guys while I go along. I know you're sick, but why you're sick? I guess I can talk about this. There's actually been a lot that has happened since the last stream. First of all, I got more stable internet. My internet situation still hasn't been fixed. A guy is coming on Monday and I'm finally getting internet in my apartment specifically. So that's going to be nice, and I'll be able to actually start doing some networking and connecting all my systems together again. And I'll actually be able to have Ethernet, so then we can actually have proper streams without like disconnecting sometimes. But right now, I just bought a new antenna for my computer, and I'm no longer using my phone to connect it. So, yippee for that. Also, I guess the reason why I didn't buy an antenna sooner is because, well, up until like this week, I didn't actually get any money. Well, I had to conserve my money because I didn't have access to my bank accounts back in Canada, and I didn't receive my paycheck yet, right? Mostly because of my banking situation, but I got that all sorted out, and I got money to play around with now. I got money to spare, and so I bought a new antenna for my computer, and so that's what I'm working with right now. But it's still not great because the signal in my room is still fucking terrible. I have like 1 bar, but it's good enough to stream, so why the fuck not? But yeah, with that money, I got a lot of new things. Specifically, you guys have already heard me complain a bunch about my table situation, my setup situation, and that has completely changed. I bought a table, it came on Monday, and oh my fucking god, this is the reason why I'm sick. So, I basically got a table and a filing cabinet for like in a combo. I basically got like a Vernal standing desk. It's really nice actually. But they were supposed to come separately, right? The table came on Monday, that was no problem. But the filing cabinet, that came on Saturday. And on Saturday, I was out like taking a friend to tour some Christmas markets in Germany, right? Show him around the place because he's new. I've been here before. I might as well show him around, like take him around. But during that time, I didn't know when the filing cabinet would come, but they apparently were supposed to ship it on Saturday, and they tried to ship it while I was out, and they just ended up like not like dropping it off at my place because I wasn't there, right? Germany's like that. If you aren't at your apartment, they're not going to leave it at your doorstep. They're going to take it to the office or whatever, right? And like, to be fair, it is a big package. But I was like, man, okay, fine. I guess I'll have to go pick it up, but I can't pick it up till Monday. And so after all of my table stuff came on Monday, I was like fucking sweating like crazy because I had to assemble this entire fucking table and rearrange my entire room because I got the sudden urge to rearrange my room now that I have this table. But I had to go to the post office to pick up my filing cabinet, and it's fucking cold here, okay? Well, it's not that cold compared to Canada, but I wouldn't say it's like t-shirt weather or anything. So it's like decently cold. And I thought to myself, okay, with the table and everything, they kind of flat packed it, right? Yes, it is. You're weak, brother. It's 5 degrees Celsius. I am not gonna not even 5 degrees Celsius, closer to like 2 degrees Celsius. Yes, so, okay, I'm gonna get to it, okay? I'm gonna get to the reason why I'm sick. It's because of this. So, I need to go to the post office to pick up my filing cabinet, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll just go pick it up. It shouldn't be that bad, right? The table and everything, that was flat packed. That came over to me, and I just had to assemble it, right? I'm assuming the filing cabinet would kind of be the same thing, where it's mostly going to be flat packed. And so I thought to myself, okay, this filing cabinet shouldn't be too big. So I'm just going to plan on bringing my luggage, the one that you would normally check in onto an airplane, not carry on. And I was thinking, okay, I'll just go to the post office because this post office is like 2 kilometers away, and I'm gonna put the package into the luggage and drag it home. So it's nice and easy, right? Because I don't have a dolly or anything. I don't have a bike. And even with public transport, it would be fucking hard to get back to my place anyways. So I have this whole plan set out, and immediately I leave from my place going to there, and all I took was like my hoodie, and that was it, right? I didn't take like an actual jacket or anything because I'm just like, oh, that's like fine, right? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be too cold. I shouldn't be out for too long, especially if I'm on transit for most of the time. And so I'm carrying my like check-in luggage all the way down 2 kilometers down to the mall. I spend like an hour trying to find where the post office is, only for me to reread it and figure out that like I'm not actually looking for a post office. I'm actually looking for a place that has like a postal office inside of it, and it ended up being like this party city type place, right? Which was on like the fucking very top floor of this mall, super hard to get to. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. At least I found it, right? As I'm waiting to get my package, the lady that took my order or whatever is like, I can hear her from the back struggling to push out the filing cabinets up to the front. And I just see her just like, this is some Looney Tune shit as she's like pushing it out the fucking back door into the front where I'm at. And I'm just like, oh shit, they didn't flat pack this. So I'm just standing there with a 30 kilogram filing cabinet that will not fit in my check-in luggage because it's too big, right? It is like half my height and even wider in both dimensions than my fucking check-in luggage. And I still had the check-in luggage with me as well. So now I had to go back 2 kilometers all the way back home with this filing cabinet and my luggage at the same time. And there's no way for me to carry them properly besides taking one at a time, fucking carrying them to and from. And so this is absolutely fucked. The stars aligned for this to be the most difficult trek I have ever done. This was even worse than when I moved into my second place in Germany, where my fucking luggage was like a soft shelled luggage and it was just terrible to drag around because the wheels were non-existent. So I was just dragging a fucking 60-pound, I don't know, 20 kilogram bag behind me while fucking, I don't know. It was just terrible. But basically no wheels, half my height. It was bad. But this one was even worse because this is 30 kilograms, 2 luggages, basically, luggage equivalents, and I had to carry all of that back home 2 kilometers. And I'm just like, okay, fine. Maybe this isn't so bad. I can take public transit. First obstacle, getting out of the fucking mall. You don't understand how hard it was for me to get out of the mall. It took me like 20 minutes to get out of the mall. Cause like picking up this shit was the fucking worst. I was already fatigued from trying to assemble this table and moving all my furniture around. And I went climbing the day before. And now I have to pick up like all of this fucking shit and like try and get it out of the mall. But here's the thing. The place where I picked up my package is on like the second floor. So it's not ground floor territory. And so I had to either take the escalator down, the elevator down, or the stairs down. And so I'm like, okay, fuck. There's no way this filing cabinet is going to fit on the escalator without falling down and crushing like a 2-year-old or something. I have to take the elevator. And so I go to the elevator, I push everything to the fucking elevator, and as I'm standing there with like 5 other people waiting for this elevator to come. And this elevator is just stuck on the bottom floor, not moving whatsoever. And I'm just like, okay, anytime now? Anytime now? And then it goes out of service. And I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I look around for like 5 minutes, I can't see another elevator anywhere near me. And so I'm just like, there's no way I'm carrying this piece of shit, searching for another elevator to take my way down. And so I'm just like, okay, maybe I just carry this down the stairs, you know? How bad can it be? It was fucking terrible. This shit was fucking terrible. Taking it down the stairs. Okay. You see a little old limit like getting crushed by a fucking 100 pound or 30 kilogram filing cabinet while also carrying a luggage, just kicking it down the stairs. Like, I actually look like fucking, what's his name? Sisyphus with the boulder, but I'm just going down the mountain. It was terrible. And eventually, I finally make it down to the bottom of the stairs in one piece. I can't say the same for my fucking luggage. Like, that shit's all scratched up, but who cares at this point? And I'm just like, okay, at least the easy part's done now. The tram station should be just outside of the mall, and then I can go home. And it's only like another 10-minute walk from the next tram station back to my house, right? That's all it is. I mean, like 10 minutes without all of this heavy shit. So it's probably going to be half an hour. And so I'm just like, okay, this is going to be fine. I like haul all of this shit over to the tram station. It is not as close as I thought. I had to walk through like a square past some fountains all the way down some stairs just to get to the fucking like tram station. And I'm already annoyed at this point. There's like a bunch of people doing their Christmas shopping, looking at me all like I'm a homeless person, lugging all of their like homely possessions with them. And I finally get there. I look at the tram station. Guess what? All the trams have fucking stopped because there was an accident. I'm just like, you've gotta be fucking kidding me. I am 2 kilometers away from home. You're making me do a like, oh my god, man. Thing is, I can't even put this filing cabinet onto my luggage and wheel it around like a dolly because all of the streets in this German city are cobblestones. Like, deep cobblestones. And so I can't drag it over with how heavy the luggage is with the filing cabinet on top of it. The only thing I can do is like carry this filing cabinet maybe on my shoulder, 30 kilograms, while trying to wheel this luggage along. And it is just, for 2 kilometers in like 3-degree weather in nothing but a t-shirt. I was out for maybe like 2 hours. Fucking Sisyphus pushing this boulder up a hill all the way back home. And by the time I get to the fucking, oh my god, it was terrible. I'm telling you, it was fucking terrible. It's actually a crazy workout. Like, it's not even that I'm not fit, because like, oh, 30 kilograms, I can deadlift this easy, I can squat this easy. But when you have to travel like 2 kilometers with that on your shoulder, and it's not like a barbell or anything that you can grip, it's like a fucking stone on your shoulder, like an actual boulder on your shoulder. This was the fucking craziest workout I've ever gotten in like a long time. This is probably topping my one time I traveled from a shack in the woods down 2 cities just because I missed my flight to Barcelona. Like, this probably tops that in terms of difficulty, but like, I got so fucking cold. I got so fucking tired. I was so sweaty by the end of that. And even when I got to my apartment, because my apartment is like a really old place, there's no elevator. And I live on, well, like one of the top floors. So I gotta, once again, after doing all of that, carry this shit up like 4 flights of stairs up to my place, along with the luggage, and put it in my place. And I'm telling you, I took like 5 breaks during this. I got to the bottom, I realized I had to haul this shit up, and I just started crying. I just like passed out on the floor. I'm just like, no, no more. As I'm sitting there in the dark, because fucking Germans have those auto timeout lights inside of the hallways. I'm just sitting there on the floor of the hallway with my face in my hands, just like groaning. The guy on the first floor comes out of his place, kind of looks at me, is like, "You good, bro?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm suffering. Let me wallow." Let me wallow in my tears. I sit there for maybe like, it takes me another half an hour to get it up those flights of stairs because I'm so fucking tired at this point. And what do I do once I get in? Do I take a break? No. I spend the next 2 hours continuing to fucking build my table and my filing cabinet and all of that fucking shit. And then I just go to bed in my fucking sweaty ass clothes and everything. And I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I got sick. I was just so cold for so long inside of my own sweat. Didn't fucking shower after all of that. I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. I forgot to mute. But yeah. That's basically what happened. Oh my lord, where are your eyes? Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, I've positioned my camera in a new place. It's kind of high. So whenever I look at my monitor normally, it's like, it makes it look like my eyes are closed from the camera. So that's kind of like a problem. I might have to lower it. You know, it's actually, well, let me try and lowering it right now. Let's lower it like that amount. You spent 2 hours building a table and cabinet? Yes, because I was so fatigued at this point. I was so freaking fatigued at this point. I've already came back from a full day of work, and then I had to do all of that shit. And I was already building like other stuff before, and I already rearranged my entire fucking room. And this room is fucking tiny with so much furniture inside of it. Literally, it's just like, it was a whole day effort. I'm gonna tell you. I finished at like maybe midnight. I finished assembling my table at midnight. So it was kind of fucked. When you say go easy on me, we will do the opposite. Go mind games and say go hard on me. Guys, please. I am already like lightheaded because I've done too much. I've done more talking than I thought I was gonna do. What else? There has been a lot, but like, I guess after Monday, I already started feeling sick, like towards the end of the day on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I was like, okay, my nose is getting really stuffy. I don't know what Wednesday's gonna look like, so I'm probably not gonna stream then. That's why I said I'm not gonna stream on Wednesday. But then my predictions were right. Wednesday, I got like super fucking sick. I couldn't speak or anything. Same with Thursday. Friday was probably the worst day, but today got a lot better, I would say. One thing I will say, if you are ever sick, nasal rinses are OP, okay? I got onto nasal rinses ever since my nose surgery, and just like taking a squeeze bottle, a special squeeze bottle. I don't know if you guys have this anywhere outside of Canada, but like there's this brand of like nasal spray. It comes with salt packs as well, specifically for this nasal spray. Or it's not a nasal spray, but it's basically you fill it with water, you put the salt in, so it's like the same salinity as inside of your nose, and then you pump the water into your nose and let it rinse out. And it's like, it's so fucking good for getting out all of like the snot and mucus that would otherwise be clogging up your nose. I would say, like, in terms of comfort, this is probably the best experience I've had being this sick, right? Normally, I guess, I don't know. I haven't also been this sick ever since I've gotten my nose surgery. So I don't know if this is either because my nasal ways are actually just bigger for once and I can breathe during my sleep, or if the nasal spray is just this OP. Because like the amount of snot that just comes out of my nose with every single rinse, I have to rinse like once every 2 hours. I wake up, do maybe 2-3 rinses, but it's just so good. I had never felt this comfortable being sick before. It's just like I can't do anything about the fucking throat part, right? Oh my god, I'm so lightheaded. Am I mentally okay after that? I mean, I've done a lot of crap shit to my body in the past. I would say this was very fatiguing, but mentally it wasn't that bad, right? At least it wasn't like that one trek I did from the middle of the woods that I said earlier that took me, what, 10, 12 hours to complete in piss pouring rain during a storm through the forest and shit. That one was bad. That one was actually miserable. I've never been so close to giving up on a like physical challenge in my life than that one. There have been some other times as well, like back when I was in Air Cadets and the summer camp was just so fucking scuffed. Those times were absolutely scuffed. And a lot of other experiences as well. Give me a second. I need a refill on water. Your story reminds me of my teenage years when, after my first job, I got lost in my city. Oh my god. I remember when I also used to get lost in my city before. I mean, like, it's like, I don't know how to fucking explain it. There was this one time back in middle school when I went to a friend's house to film something for a project, and I needed to get back home from his place, right? But I didn't know like the bus system that well, along aside from like the two like buses that I would take to get from school back to my house. Since I was in like the gifted program, right? My school would pretty much be on the other side of town from my house, so that was the only way for me to get back home. And so this guy's house is on the other side of fucking town. And I had no idea how to get back home, so I just got on a bus and was like, okay, this should take me back to my normal bus route. Nope. I didn't realize I was going the wrong direction until I was 2 cities over and I was just lost. I was like, where the fuck? I got off the bus and I'm just like, where the fuck am I? I looked at the bus driver and like, can you take me back? And I was like, sorry, last bus for the day. Last bus for the day. And I'm just like, ah, shit. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere at a bus terminal and I don't have a phone because I'm in middle school. I'm just lost. And so I just started walking back in the direction the fucking bus came from for like 3 hours until I got back to my friend's place, and I knocked on his door in the middle of the fucking night and was like, can I borrow your phone? I'm lost. This little 13-year-old me was such a fucking idiot. Oh my god. All right. Well, let me tell you what we're going to be doing this stream. As you can probably guess from the stream title, we're going to be working on Project Vita. Not like we don't really have an objective in mind. It's not like other streams where I'm gonna say like, oh, today we're implementing this feature, start to finish or whatever, right? Like I said before, I am separating out the work from Project Vita, the open source version, from my personal version of Project Vita. And it's basically like whatever I develop inside of my personal version of Project Vita that I like, in terms of system design, in terms of technology, or in terms of features, then I might just port it over into Project Vita for all of you guys as well. And Project Vita is going to be entirely separate from my progression story now, where any of you guys can also contribute features and whatnot. That way this project can actually be a good application sooner rather than later, right? Something for all of you to use. And so a lot about Project Vita is going to change, but I'm also not going to be putting that as the main focus of my development journey anymore. And so I'm not going to track the progress of Project Vita, the open source project, as closely during my YouTube videos, but that also does mean that you guys are free to make contributions as you will. And I guess what I want to say with this is that with this stream in particular, I guess, and all future streams that I do with Project Vita, they're mostly just going to be chill stuff. Every now and then I'll come back and implement some new changes that I think would be kind of nice to improve Project Vita and slowly develop it over time at a regular, but at a regular cadence that isn't so bursty or whatever. And so I have a lot of ideas for Project Vita that I want to do right now. And I'll get to those in a moment, but is there anything else that I wanted to say? I do see your message, Danny. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is most of the content-driven development is going to be within my own personal version of Project Vita, whereas the open source version is just something for the community. And I'm going to set out, I did mention this before, but I'm going to make a video where I go into my vision and my direction that I want to take Project Vita in. That way we kind of have a common vision for what this application is going to be, because there are a lot of other AI VTuber projects already out there, right? You have Sugarcane Defender's open source project, you have Open LLM VTuber, you have all of these other ones that are much bigger than mine and much more mature, but they all, well, I wouldn't say they all, but for the vast majority of them, they all focus on being very modular and very driven towards people who already know technology, as opposed to being a standalone application like VTube Studio, for example. And that's kind of the niche that I want to fill with Project Vita, the open source version. I didn't want to overload you with useless info. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I did read it. Oh my fucking god, I keep forgetting to mute. Sorry. But yeah, let me change scenes and start talking a little bit about what we're going to do with Project Vita today. And I guess for the future, for the near future at least, right? Because the new year's coming in, I do want to put some effort into Project Vita, and I always have wanted to put more effort into Project Vita. I've just been hesitating because, well, I want them to be told in videos and I need them to be in a proper organized timeline. Otherwise, it's really confusing for me to try and tell the story or like structure it into a video. So let me just make a to do. My fucking keyboard is also kind of broken. I need to fix the port for it because it's really loose. And so the connection to it is like spamming random keys sometimes. So you want a common version of Vita, but one is open that the community makes while you make a private version of yours. They're going to be very different, right? Because the philosophy between the open source version is that I want it to be a easy to use application that people can use to make their own AI VTubers / companion, and still have it be modular enough for people to kind of connect to through an API to say like make a Twitch extension or something of that sort, right? And it needs to be more or less like flexible. I don't want to incorporate a bunch of bloatware that like 99% of people would never use, like specific integrations for OSU, for example, and stuff like that. Versus my own specific version, I do have a lot of plans in the future that, let's just say, go beyond the virtual realm, right? Let's just say that. But I don't think that's going to be very applicable to what I want Project Vita to be. That was kind of like my gripe in the beginning. In the very beginning, I kind of just thought of Project Vita, or Project JE-Ison, I guess I should say, the very beginning version, as just mostly an example project for people to reference for their own AI VTubers, and then maybe like as I get better at coding or as I mature in coding, I could implement better systems for making it more flexible for other people's use case. That way it is useful to not just, that way is configurable and understandable to non-technical people as well, right? That was the original intent with it, but I don't, just having come along this way, I don't think it really lines up with my overall goals for what I want JE-Ison to be. And so I separated them out. Their development is going to look very different, but that doesn't mean I'm abandoning Project Vita, right? It just means that whatever features that I like for my own personal version of Project Vita that I think would be a fit for Project Vita, I'm just going to port features over, basically re-implementing them for the other project, which is kind of normal, right? That's normal for a lot of open source projects and private projects. But yeah, as I was gonna say, this is kind of what I have planned. So first of all, we're going to be remodeling this project, or remodeling this repository. Specifically, like, I've talked about this before, right? The current version of Project Vita is, well, this repository. It's still called JE-Ison Core. It still makes all these references to JE-Ison, but I want this to be a generic server for running AI personalities. And we also want to, fuck my keyboard, rebrand to Project Vita officially. Now, I'm going to be making an organization, quote unquote, in GitHub for Project Vita, where it's going to consolidate all of the projects that are related to Project Vita and the eventual application, right? So this is going to include Vita Core, which will be a rename of JE-Ison Core, but also we'll have an SDK, right? So the Vita SDK, along with all the other applications that we had before, right? Like the Discord application, the Twitch application. Oh my fucking god, my keyboard. Yeah, okay, I need to fix my keyboard. Hello, did it finally die? Oh my god. Only built you like 3 months ago. How the fuck is your connector already this shit? So we have the Discord one, we have the Twitch one, and we have the VTube Studio. Now, I've done a lot of work. I guess not so much for the Twitch bot, but I've done a lot of work to the Twitch application on my personal version that you guys saw with Twitch API, and a lot of work to VTube Studio off stream. You guys saw the package, but I did remake the animator or the hotkeyer, and I actually really like my new implementation for VTube Studio using my Python package that I created, right? It's doing something kind of different, and I'll probably make a video for this in the future, or I guess I'll showcase it to you guys in the future, not today, but I think this is a very nice implementation that I have here that honestly makes things a lot easier to configure and handle overall. But the Vita SDK is basically going to be something like the OpenAI SDK or the VTube Studio SDK that I made for VTube Studio. And this is just going to be something, at least for Python, that allows you guys to easily, I guess, integrate your applications with Vita Core, for example. Firstly, mouse, then limit itself, then now the keyboard. Yeah, everything is falling apart. Oh yeah, I'm so fucking like pissed because now that I have money, I've been buying stuff off of Amazon, right? But the very last purchase that I wanted to make was stuff for my mouse, right? And I wasn't too sure what was wrong with my scroll wheel at first. I thought like, oh, maybe there's just some dust inside of the scroll wheel because maybe it's an optical sensor, or an optical scroll wheel, or maybe there's some dust inside of the mechanical encoder or something. So I'm just gonna take apart my mouse and like clean it out, right? But I need some stuff to replace the skates and whatever. And so I got the fucking mouse skates and all of that. But after I took it apart, I realized that it was a mechanical encoder, but there was something wrong with the mechanical encoder itself. Maybe the contacts got oxidized or they got deformed or something. So I can't actually fix it just by cleaning it, and I need to like resolder a new encoder into there. And so when I realized this, I'm like, okay, next purchase I make is going to be for a soldering kit and a mechanical encoder for this mouse. For some reason, for that order specifically, Amazon decided to flag my account for suspicious activity and basically deactivate it. So I can't make purchases on that account. And I've been in contact with Amazon customer support like 5 times over this last week. And every single time they give me they tell me there's a new problem with my account. Like, oh, we've reinstated your account. Oh, we need your verification for all of this. And then every single time I get a new email, it's like, oh, your account has been recovered. Your account has been reinstated. I go to buy it for like maybe the 20th time, and then after half an hour it gets canceled, and I'm just like, you're fucking kidding me. Not only does it cancel it also wipes my fucking payment information as well as my address and all of that shit. I'm just like, do you not want my fucking money? I've had this account for like 6 years already. All right, I've had this account for 6 years. I've even used it inside of Germany in the past. Like, why the fuck are you flagging me now? Just take my fucking money. But yeah, I'm basically like, I might just make a new Amazon account. I don't know. I really don't want to, but I need to get a new mechanical encoder for this mouse. I refuse to get a new mouse. But also, I can fix this keyboard. I just need to take like pliers and pinch the connector so that it's not loose anymore. I think it's from all the unplugging and plugging in when I take it to work and not. that kind of loosened it up. Okay, anyways. But yeah, there's gonna be this stuff, remodeling the repo, SDK, refactoring some of the applications. I guess for the remodeling the repo as well, I also need to add some files, add files for better contribution. This includes some templates for making commits, making issues on GitHub, some contribution guidelines, some stuff for LLMs, and style guides and all that kind of stuff, right? We have that inside of the V2 Python package that we made. I'm probably just going to copy paste those over to here as well, and that's going to be it, right? I'm going to do that off stream. What else do we have? In terms of actual changes to the code itself though, I want to refactor to use Fast API, right? Because right now the current project, it looks kind of crap. I maintain this api.yaml myself by hand, okay? And this is like just not the way to go, because it's not only missing a lot of important details, it's also like extra maintenance to maintain this api.yaml whenever I make changes to my
For some reason,
API as
somehow
well.
you choose the hard way rather than the easy way. I know sometimes it's better to go the hard way and learn new things, but for this damn buy new mouse, there is nothing to think about it. This is my advice: you choose what you do in the end.
No. I'm not replacing this mouse. You wanna know why? Because this is a heavily modded mouse that I've had for like, it's not even that old. I've only had it for 1.5 years. But like, I don't know, the fucking thing just worn out. I've already had to resolder this mouse different times. It's fine. It's whatever. But yeah. The reason why I want to switch to Fast API is because after using it in my own personal version, the fact that it auto like documents or builds the documentation based off of the Pydantic models makes it a lot better for reducing the amount of maintenance that I have to do between making changes to the actual API and then remembering to come down to api.yaml and making changes there, right? Not only that, but Fast API is, in my opinion, better for creating a REST API than Flask because, well, first of all, we're using Pydantic to validate these data models like built in to Fast API, and overall this is like the standard, right? I don't think there are people who are using Flask for REST APIs, but the main purpose of Flask is to serve as a front-end web server, in my opinion at least. That's like the main purpose of it. Fast API is just better integrated for REST API purposes and also better integrated for WebSockets as well, which is another thing that I noticed. After I finished developing the WebSocket server for my own personal version, I found that it actually worked a lot better and fixed many of the bugs that I was facing with this implementation. Actually, this implementation isn't using Flask itself, it's using Quartz. And Quartz is just like a version of Flask that's asynchronous and also supports WebSockets, right? But Fast API itself already supports WebSockets, and it does it much better in that when you want to control C, you can actually close the server, right? Which is a problem that I'm having currently. If a client is connected to the WebSocket server, then it can't actually close the WebSocket server for some reason. The termination signal gets lost no matter what I try.
I got myself a few free bits, so here you go, Daddy.
Thank you, Danny, for the 90 bits. Well, companies don't make them last for long for simple reasons. You can make this one last long. Like, I've had my G502 for maybe, I want to say, 7 years before I got rid of it. Not because like it broke, but because I've worn through the rubber shell of it all the way down to the shell, right? My fucking like thumbs were spewing as acid or some shit inside of its sweat, and it like eroded that all the way through. Eventually got so nasty I just replaced it with a new mouse, right? This one though, like you can maintain a mouse for a long time as long as you replace the actual like physical components, aka the buttons and the mechanical encoder if you do have one, which is easy enough to replace if you know how to solder, right? And in my opinion, it's much cheaper. Like just to buy like the replacement parts, the encoder itself, I could get 2 encoders for what, €7, as opposed to having to shell out 60. And like I need to solder stuff anyways in the future, right? I do a lot of fucking hardware shit anyways. So it's like, whatever, it's not that expensive. It's easy anyways. I just have to put up with this right now because fucking Amazon locked down my account. Normally this wouldn't be a problem. What else was I gonna say? I think that's my tangent done for Fast API. I mean, also, they also have use Pydantic models, right? Once again, I'm still writing my Pydantic, what is it? Honeymoon phase. It's just so good for data validation, especially for APIs. And this will also make creating the SDK much easier. If I manage the data models inside of here, then I can possibly also include the code for the SDK inside of here as well, and just use this repository to build the SDK or something similar. If not, then I can just copy paste the directory that has all the data models into the SDK, and that would be fine. This just makes things easier to fuck, what was I trying to say? Easier to validate as well as maintain. Yes. Besides creation of the SDK, yes. I also want to replace Cobalt with Llama CPP
What
directly.
are we doing today?
We're just working on Project Vita stuff, or just rambling about Project Vita stuff. Depends on how long I spend on this. Like, I'm not focusing on implementing specific goals, or I'm not going to have specific goals for these dev streams where I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to specifically start to finish implement this feature. I'm mostly just treating this as like, okay, this is my 3-hour time slot that I'm dedicating to sitting down and actually working on the open source project. That's all these streams are going to be in terms of Project Vita stuff. Llama CPP, my go, yeah, because Cobalt under the hood already uses Llama CPP. Sure, it has its own optimizations, but honestly, they're not needed for this purpose, right? I would rather go directly to Llama CPP because it makes configuration a lot easier and makes things a lot more portable, in my opinion. Because what I can do is I can supply different backends for the Llama CPP. Maybe you want to use the Vulkan version or the CUDA version or the CPU version, right? I can supply all of those binaries in my different distributions, which I will talk about in just a second. And I don't have to have you like install the Cobalt application, copy paste it into this project's binaries, and then double click on Cobalt to open the configuration UI to make the configuration UI. I'm much more familiar with working with Llama CPP directly as opposed to trying to figure out Cobalt's ecosystem, and I think this will have much more longevity as well. So I'm getting rid of the extra layer and I'm just going directly with Llama CPP. Also, I will be integrating Whisper CPP into this as well, as opposed to using like the Whisper packages or whatever, right? Just kind of on the same note as well. Another thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna restructure configuration again. I keep having this struggle between figuring out how configuration is supposed to be done, right? A lot of the times when it comes to configuration, most like games, for example, they would just have a flat structure with a bunch of unique keys, kind of like a .m file or something, right? But for configs, I want to change it because I want it to be less intimidating to really approach configuration. Because like, if you look at this, I guess it's not as intimidating if you know how to code, but to a non-coder, coming into here and trying to figure out how to parse all of this out is kind of confusing. And also, I do want to leverage file structure under the configs folder for making configuration easier, at least from a UI standpoint, right? And so I'm going to be restructuring this. Inside of my own personal version, I have like a deployment directory as well as a service level directory. We may approach something similar with the configs here, where I separate out the deployment configuration versus the actual configuration for stuff like your different models and stuff like that, right? But this should make it, in conjunction with the Pydantic models, a lot easier to make a UI for configuration in the future, as well as potentially like allowing people to extend with their own implementations. Frick Cobalt, oh my god, finally someone gets me. Oh my god, I didn't know you were such a Cobalt hater. Yeah, I hear that, legend. I mean, like, if you were here early on, I think a lot of us early on were on the Cobalt train because one of my previous mods was very much pushing for people to use Cobalt as opposed to something like LM Studio or whatever. I don't know. Like, they had their own LLM server that they had public that was using Cobalt, and I was like, you know, why don't we just like go with Llama CPP as opposed to Cobalt? You know, after using LM Studio and seeing how nice that was to use as well versus Cobalt, I don't know. Noel mentioned. Just to be clear, I'm not on bad terms with Noel. And I don't think she's on bad terms with me, right? She just left on her own terms. For one reason or another. Limit, it's your fault. I feel like I'm trying to get sick. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to mute. It's just like habit at this point. 2 days ago, I changed in my local AI Discord bot to use the standard OpenAI connection for user choice. If he decides he wants to use big models like ChatGPT, yeah. I saw that earlier actually. Also, that change broke some things, but hey, it's fixed. And now I can run Ollama AI models from other PCs with the same network. That's cool. That AI connection will also make it more easy for me to add LLM Studio and Llama CPP. Yeah, because everything is like pretty much because OpenAI got there first, their API became the standard, right? The only thing that I don't really like about the OpenAI standard is their limited choice of samplers, right? Like, for the most part, they get everything done. It's just that they're lacking in certain samplers. The only samplers that OpenAI really provides is like, what? I forget, top P, min P, temperature, stuff like that, right? But there are other samplers that I have found to be very, very useful. For example, dry, right? Don't repeat yourself. This specific sampler makes it so words or specific phrases, depending on how long you configure it for, won't be repeated throughout the conversation so long as it's in the prompt somewhere, under certain rules, right? Maybe if it's from a different user or from a different conversation or further up in the conversation history, you can repeat it, right? But it would basically make it so within the same response, you wouldn't be spamming the same word over and over and over and over again, right? She had strong opinions on some topics. She did have some very strong opinions on some topics, and she was very vocal about them as well, right? To each their own, though. But yeah, that's kind of like my take on the OpenAI API standard. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad. I just think that it is, for what it is, it's limited in some areas that I would like to see more improvement in. And there are some APIs that get around this by extending their API. So it's like backwards compatible, right? You can use, you can use the normal OpenAI requests, but you can also add extra fields inside of the body to access different samplers, for example. That is much nicer. I forget which one does this. I believe I saw this inside of fuck, there was a version of, it wasn't Cobalt. Cobalt maybe has it. It wasn't LM Studio, but there was a third kind of wrapper around Llama CPP that someone had showed me in the past that did have this feature, which was nice. But yeah, I would rather have my, I guess I should make an OpenAI API for Project Vita, but I feel like it is also much more maintenance work than I myself am willing to put in just for that compatibility. And have tried working university stupid compiler that I give no damn, and I say to that I will work on that the other day. Mood. I caught the German sickness. Y'all are better catch the germs of the Germans, German germs. You sound different too. Yes, because when I get sick,
Limit drink some hot tea with honey. Sounds like your throat needs it.
this is just my throat on default whenever I have a sore throat. Like, if you were there, if you heard me when I was actually having the sore throat, like, I forget, what was it, yesterday? When I had to help MacTick in call, bro, my throat was so fucking, I have crazy
Wish you luck
vocal
on that
fry.
and hope you get better soon.
Thank you. I have crazy vocal fry when I get sick. Like, maybe I can imitate it. It's like, oh my god, it's something like that. Oh my god, I'm so sick, guys. It's like that, but it's deeper. It's much deeper. It's almost like y'all remember Corpse Husband? It's kind of like that if he had extra vocal fry, right? Robot Limit. Robot Limit. I mean, like, I guess yesterday it wasn't that bad. Like, it didn't hit that level of deep, but it has hit that level of deep like before. Try, my beloved. Also, I don't own tea or honey. I mean, I do have honey. My company gave it to me, but I don't own tea. I've been trying to, like, along with the drinking challenge, like trying to stay sober until 2027, I've also took it upon myself to try and reduce my caffeine consumption during this time as well, right? Because of my caffeine addiction, which I've pretty sure I've talked about before. Well, not really caffeine addiction. I am capable of controlling it, but just like my I guess my body's like I don't know what to call it. It's not withdrawal. It's not it's like caffeine sickness, where whenever I take caffeine now, I one get sleepy and two start to feel really sick. So I've basically stopped drinking coffee, I've stopped drinking energy drinks, and I've stopped drinking tea, and I am mostly not drinking any soda just to keep off of the caffeine because it has been really fucking wrecking my health whenever I do consume it. NyQuil, NyQuil. I also don't take NyQuil. I don't know. I just have this like I just have these the medicine that I had from Canada. I mean, what do they have here? Inside of Europe, they don't really do like brands of medicine, right? They don't have Tylenol, they don't have the NyQuil. I guess they might have NyQuil, I haven't checked. They don't have the Life brands or whatever. They just like sell you straight up the medical ingredient like ibuprofen or whatever. Limit doesn't Limit don't listen to Melissa. She is crazy, brother. I've been using Llama CPP for a long time already. I'm using it for my personal version. It's so much easier to integrate than just using Cobalt. Like, okay.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you
sub.
for the
Oh my
1 month,
god,
UMD Smith. Thank you, Legendary Joe.
yes.
Like, you would be insane for trying to integrate Cobalt into an application for distribution, right? It's not meant for that. It's meant to be its own standalone application, right? Like, Llama CPP is what you would use to integrate into an actual application that you would distribute. Because if you're going to use Cobalt CPP, the easiest way to do it is just to, like, you have to use their application in order to configure it, or you have to learn the structure of their configuration, and that's just not convenient, right? Llama CPP, everything is done through CLI or their configuration API endpoint, and that's just like way better than what it should be. Oh my god. Also, thank you for the prime. Wait. Oh, oh, that was the prime. Hold on. I need to like really blow my nose. Oh my god. Uh, bro, the mute button on my fucking interface does not work. Oh well. All right, what else did I have planned? What else did I have planned? Restructure configuration. All right. Also, I don't remember if I added this or not, but for the MCP, um, the MCP LLM, I need to use structured outputs, and so I need to generate them. I need to generate the input schema based off of the loaded MCP servers and all that stuff. And I just need to do a lot more work for making this a proper, secure MCP client implementation. I don't know. I'm still not like that much of an expert in terms of making MCP applications. So there's still a lot that I need to learn from there. And I'm probably going to like, I don't know, ask my colleagues or whatever because they are much better than fucking much better than I am in terms of working with MCP and all that higher level AI stuff. Also, what? Make proper clear scripts for running this application. So like a bash.bat file. These will just make it a lot easier for distribution in the future, as well as actually turning these into executables and stuff, right? That you can download and all that stuff. And I also need to go through and make sure that everything is using properly asyncing correctly. So proper async implementations. Because I have this bad habit of using just like the request library in order to do HTTP requests even within async functions. And this is not a good practice because requests is actually blocking. And so it doesn't give up the core to allow for other calculations to happen while the request is happening. And given that this is an IO bound application, the vast majority of calculation time is going to be during requests. So I need this to be asynchronous. That way we can run other parts of the pipeline and whatnot while we are getting HTTP requests and all that stuff, right? As well as going through and making sure that like very expensive calculations don't hog the computation the entire time. Oh, what did your mentor say when you told him that about your drinking thing? He came up to me in office, wrapped his arms around me, and was like, "So what is this about? Why are you not drinking anymore?" But no, that's sexual harassment. No, we're pretty close. We're pretty close. It's like, but he understands. He understands. HR bad touch. HR, get this guy out of here. What else? What else? Yeah, that's pretty much the main things I had in mind, at least off the top of my head before stream, that I wanted to fix up in the near future for this application. There are some other things I have planned, like GUI work and all of that stuff, but I'll see. I'll see, because I haven't explored that all in depth and I don't know what exactly I want to do for that just yet. But that's kind of what I have in mind. Am I gonna do any dev work today? I'm not sure. After all of this, I have gotten really lightheaded. I talked a lot more than I thought I was gonna talk. So, I don't know. It might be a short stream today. I mean, I am going to be streaming tomorrow as well, and hopefully I will be feeling better, but I also don't really want to give you guys the silent stream where I'm just focused on coding the entire time and not saying anything for like 10 minutes straight, because I feel like that's just like you guys have better things to do, right? But yeah, that's kind of like the plans that I have in mind. I I don't know. Is there anything you guys want to see inside of this open source version? Not in terms of like big features such as memories, but just like things that would convince you to use this project, right? That's another thing that I was going to say, right? Alongside the restructuring of this repository, I'm also going to be changing how I do releases, right? You see, with these releases, I've just been like giving you an update on what the fuck this version is and then giving you like the source zip or whatever. I want to change it so I'm taking like I guess, let's pull up Llama CPP, for example, because this is the one I can think of off the top of my head. Kind of like this example where I give you a repository that has all of the different dependencies that you need to run it, as well as some of the things already set up, so you can just run the bash script or the bat script and you'll have a working application, right? Like here you see they have different compiled versions for CUDA and all of this kind of stuff, right? Like a normal application should be. But I'm currently not doing this and I want to change it so we are doing this, right? I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I don't have all the different hardware to test this on. Like, I could probably emulate this using like QEMU or something like that, but that's that's a whole other hurdle that I need to learn, figure out what to do. But what I can do is at least provide um, already set up repositories with all the dependencies and everything for at least like, I don't know, fully AMD setups or fully NVIDIA and Intel setups, right? Or fully CPU setups. I can provide those kinds of zip files. That way you can just download it, run this, run the bat or run the scripts, and you don't really have to worry about doing all the pip install and all the fucked up dependencies that we currently have right now. That's something that I want to do, and I'm also going to be changing how I do these, how I maintain this repository as well, right? We're going to be taking like the feature branch approach along with whatever bug fixes going directly into mainline, as opposed to what I did before. I guess they no longer exist here, but we used to have branches that were all, oh, they're all gone. Oh, right, because I archived them. I guess that's a nit point then. I used to have it so every single version had its own branch. That way, if you were coming from the YouTube video and you wanted a reference, then you could just open it and go to the specific branch and check out the code there, right? But I just remember now that I actually archived all of those down here. Yeah. Bro's lightheaded from yapping too much. It happens a lot. I get lightheaded from yapping while doing streams normally as well, even when I'm not sick, but like I'm just feeling it early. I think you should rest because if you can't talk, then there's no background noise, yeah. Limit, how about getting a new Vita VTuber model? No comment. But yeah, I'm probably not gonna code this stream because I'm probably just gonna do some more work for my own personal version and setting up like files for contribution on this project off stream, and I'll just gonna record them as a time lapse for a video or something. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. If you guys don't have anything else you want to say or any ideas that you would like to suggest, then I am going to take a quick nap and come back to this on my own time. Boo. No comments, no comment. Have you ever played Subnautica? I've I've always wanted to play Subnautica. I wanted to play it for stream actually, but I've just never found the time, right? For me, it's good if I would do it for stream, it's kind of gonna be like a commitment, kind of like the Minecraft streams used to be, right? I don't know. It would have to be like a marathon where I spend an entire week playing Subnautica. I don't want to stretch it out for too long. When is the Subnautica stream? Maybe next year when I have more time. Right now, I am so fucking busy, especially behind the scenes. There's a lot that I'm doing right now that you guys aren't seeing, but it'll all be worth it. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna give you back the rest of your day. Enjoy your time. I'm gonna go rest up. Oh my god. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Have a good day. And don't get sick with the German germs. Goodbye.